Hello, students. Now we will see how the phenomenon of refraction occurs through a rectangular glass slab. So we will try to understand this phenomena that how refraction occurs. Now uh, you should know what is glass slab. Glass slab is made of glass and cuboidal in shape. Okay, then it facilitates the refraction of light from air to glass and again from glass to air. You can see here KLMN is a rectangular glass slab. A ray of light traveling in air along AB falls on the face KL of glass slab at B at angle of incidence I1. I1 is the angle of incidence. This is N1BA. This is angle N1BA. As the ray is going from rarer medium, that is air, into denser medium, that is glass, it bends towards normal. And normal is N1B, N1 dash. This has been discussed in the previous video, that how any incident ray moving from rarer to denser bends towards normal. Okay, after that here it goes along BC at angle of refraction R1. For refracted ray BC, the angle of refraction is R1, which is CBN1 dash. Okay, so only consider up to this process. According to Snell's law, you just recall as explained in the previous video, according to Snell's law, sin I1 upon sin R1 is equal to refractive index of glass with respect to refractive index of water. Okay, at point C on the boundary Mn of the glass slab, light is leaving the glass slab and entering into air. That is, it is moving from denser medium glass into rarer medium air. So what will happen? It will move away from the normal. It will move away from the normal, that is along CD. Therefore, secondary refraction occurs at C and the ray emerges along CD. That is why CD is the emergent ray after suffering two refractions on passing through a rectangular glass slab. The first refraction was along BC, that is from air to glass, and the second refraction is along CD, that is from glass to air. For second refraction at C, BC serves as the incident ray and N2CB is equal to R2, and this is angle of incidence in glass, and DCN2 dash is equal to E, that is angle of emergence. In other way, you can say the angle between the emergent ray and the normal is angle of emergence. Okay. Now here you can also apply again Snell's law, and that will be sin R2 upon sin E is equal to refractive index of air with respect to glass. So what will happen here? You can see the emergent ray is parallel to the direction of the incident ray, or the emergent ray is parallel to incident ray. Okay, why? And this we will discuss in next video. But before that, see here, lateral displacement. So what is lateral displacement? As you can see in the figure, the perpendicular distance between the incident ray and the emergent ray, that is known as lateral displacement. Or you can say the perpendicular distance between the original path of incident ray and emergent ray coming out of the glass is called lateral displacement of the emergent ray of light. Okay, now we will try to derive some relationship between the angle of incidence I1 and emergent ray E. In this figure, you can see that according to Snell's law, sin I1 upon sin R1 will be refractive index of glass with respect to air, that is Ng upon Na. So sin I1 upon sin R1 is equal to Ng upon Na. This is, say, equation first. And again, see at the second interface, again applying the Snell's law, sin R2 upon sin E. R2 will be treated as the angle of incidence for the second refraction, and angle E, that is angle of emergent, will be treated as the angle of refraction for the second refraction. So sin R2 upon sin E will be the refractive index of air with respect to glass, and we can write down Na upon Nz implies that sin E upon sin R2 is equal to Nz upon Na. This is second equation. On comparing first and second equation, Nz upon Na on RHS, and here again Ng upon Na on RHS. So the LHS of both the equation 1 and 2 will be also equal. So sin I1 upon sin R1 is equal to sin E upon sin R2 from equation 1 and 2. Now see again the figure. R1 is equal to R2. Why? Because of alternate angle. Angle R1 is equal to angle R2. Alternate angle. Alternate angle implies that sin R1 is also equal to sin R2. So what will happen? Sin R1 is equal to sin R2. This means that, implies that sin I1 is equal to sin E. Implies that I1 is equal to angle I1 is equal to angle E. So what conclusion we have drawn here? Angle I1 is equal to angle E. Okay. This means that the angle of emergence at the second boundary Mn of the glass slab is equal to the angle of incidence I1 at the first boundary KL of the glass slab. That is why CD is parallel to AB. Implies that CD is parallel to AB. That is why the light emerges from rectangular glass slab in a direction parallel to that in which it enters the glass slab. This is the final conclusion. Light emerges. You should, by pausing the video, you should note down this conclusion in your notebook, that light emerges from rectangular glass slab in a direction parallel to that in which it entered the glass slab. And this type of question is always asked in the examination, that what is the reason that light emerges from rectangular glass slab in a direction parallel to that in which it entered the glass slab. The reason is this only: the angle of incidence at the first interface is equal to the angle of emergence at the second interface. You have to justify this. Okay? So this is very important point or important topic of refraction. You should, by seeing video, you should try to grab the concept. So in this video, this is enough.